When hope is gone, undo this lock and send me forth on a moonlit walk. Release restraint level 0. Hey kids, wanna see a dead body?
Hi guys, this is the Void of the Ravenclaw. Welcome back to another fanfiction story. If you like this type of content, smash the like button and subscribe for future videos and updates that I do post on my community tab frequently. Now before we begin this story and get this done, I tried to record this like 2 days ago. I thought everything was going fine, a couple grammar mistakes on my part. Then I went back to check, the video. And of course my mic was shut off for some odd reason. The one time I didn't check my mic before I started recording is a time where my mic was muted. I guess I kind of muted it by accident. So of course I got a little bit irritated, so I gave myself I didn't want to do it, so after about a day or so, I'm finally all right doing this again. But it is what it is. Shit happens. So now let's get into this. Now this is the Son of Brainiac, part 22. Let's continue where we last left off in our story. While Deku was admiring the exploding planet, in the viewing window on the bridge of his mothership, a holographic image appeared in the middle of the bridge. What do I own the honor, Father? Status report. I want to know what exactly you've been up to. Of course, Father. I'm sending all the information now. As Deku opened up a temporary link between himself and his father, transferring all his memories, Brainiac was quiet as he was shifting through all the memories, basically just going through all of them. Good to know your growth has been growing quite nicely. But I do have some information that you might find useful, Brainiac Zero, if you indeed want to continue this foolish action in joining forces with that inferior creature known as Sinestro. I do have his current location. You have my undivided attention, Father. Unfortunately, I don't have the location where he keeps majority of his Yellow Lantern, or where he holds his main battery for his Yellow Lantern Corps. Sinestro is currently on one of the high maximum Green Lantern prisons. Getting to your target will be most challenging. What can you tell me about this maximum security prison, Father? You got myself quite interested. It has very impressive security measures and technology. With the prison planet always being patrolled from the atmosphere, even on the surface, the Green Lanterns patrol that entire planet. I have no doubt you'll be able to have what you call fun. They will be immediately alerted by your presence. Don't expect me to help you in any way. You'll never learn otherwise if I did so. And I should advise you, I do have a good portion of those manhunters. Guarding the prison as well. Of course, Father, I never expected you to help me in the first place. I would advise you to gain your first evolution as soon as possible, now that Apocalypse has his eye on you. It won't be long before Darkseid takes action again. He never stays idle for long. That's one thing I admire about that barbarian. He's very persistent. As the holographic image of Brainiac disappeared, he said all he wanted to say. He had no longer any desire to continue the conversation, leaving Deku in deep thought. Prison planet, you say? Now this is quite an interesting turn of events. Deku walked towards his throne and sat down as he commanded his mothership to begin to head towards the prison planet that the Green Lantern uses to place their most dangerous criminals like Sinestro and other powerful prisoners they have captured. While traveling to his destination, Deku re-entered his mindscape into the Black City with a non-stop green electric thunderstorm that never ends. There you are, None for All. What's your opinion on our current plan of action? I'm quite interested in this prison planet. I think it would be wise if I handled that. And why is that? The chances of the Green Lanterns knowing your appearance is very low, but there's a likelihood your identity has been exposed. You did kill a good number of them after all. Then they might know what you look like, but they don't know who I am. I might not like how you scheme and plot, but keeping your identity in the shadows, into the darkness, would be the best course of action. I gotta admit, you're quite intelligent. Of course I am. I'm a part of you after all. I'm just more of your warrior focus, part of your personality, given a physical form. And depending on the numbers of Green Lanterns that's on this prison planet, patrolling the planet would be a great help and to gain our first evolution. Even I am quite curious what will happen when we finally achieve it. Your strategy does have merit. Very well, None for All. I'll let you handle things for now. Excellent. It should help to kill the boredom around here. I've been meaning to ask, what exactly did you do to the leech? He won't be bugging us for a very long time. I threw him so deep in your self-conscious and induced a long slumber, giving us some time to figure out how we're going to get rid of that leech of a mongrel. He's a parasite that needs to be cleansed. I'm as much as part of All for One as I am part of you. I know how that mongrel thinks. He's only agreed to help you to buy time, to change the tables on you and take over your body, and that I cannot allow. There's only room for two of us in here, and that leech is not part of that plan. But unfortunately, the moment you absorbed that mongrel's life force and took his quirk, he became a part of you. But that's why you have me. Once he's eradicated, I'll take his place. But can something like that be even possible? I'm not afraid to admit it. I'm in new territory with having other personalities into my mind. Now adding you to the mix. You seem to be a lot more trustworthy than that leech. You can be certain on that, Deku. All I care about is fighting, and fighting strong opponents. I have no other motives or goals. I just want to have fun and battle. You're definitely a part of me. You got a lot of my playful personality. I'll leave everything in your hands, none for all. Show no mercy. You know full well I won't. As they both grasp each other's forearms, there is a bright purple light, signifying Deku's giving control to none for all. When the light finally faded away inside the bridge of the mothership, you could see none for all on the throne. He's finally opened his eyes, revealing his glowing green and purple eyes, staring into the darkness, giving none for all a very ominous look. It doesn't matter who's in charge, either Deku or none for all. They both have complete control over the mothership and the brainiac bots. None for all made a pit stop to a nearby Green Lantern outpost on a nearby moon in the current galaxy they're currently in. None for all need more information on this prison planet, and the Green Lantern's outpost will most likely have the information he's looking for either on their main computers or by finding the highest ranking member and ripping out of his memories by force. Unlike Deku, none for all is not the delicate type. He's straightforward, vicious, and unforgiving, loves to fight. He sees fighting much like Deku. He finds life and death to be a game. He has all the abilities that Deku has, and a few ones that he doesn't. After all, none for all is a combination. Well, after all, none for all is a completely different entity. He might have been created by the aspects of Deku and All for One, but he is his own entity. Much like One for All, Deku has his own goals, motives. It just happens his motives line up with none for all motives. Happens to line up with Deku. None for all doesn't want to waste his time trying to gain complete control like his other counterpart, All for One. As long as he's allowed to come out and fight, he could care less what Deku does. He commands his mothership to hide in one of the large asteroids near the outpost that's on the moon. On the moon, in an unknown galaxy, in an unknown sector. He flew out of the mouth of his skull-shaped mothership and began to fly towards the direction of the outpost on the third moon surrounding the planet. This specific planet has 3 moons. Only one moon has the Green Lantern outpost on it. Not even halfway towards the third moon, he spotted a Green Lantern flying ahead of him. None for all flew above him and slammed the bottom of his heel into his back, making the Green Lantern shoot off like a rocket towards the water planet that is surrounded by 3 moons. There's only a few patches of land on the planet, and several mountains sticking out of the water. This entire planet is a water planet or water world because of the 3 moons. Using the sea level, where the land was completely engulfed in water. And majority of the creatures, or the sea life, on this planet are almost all predators. Of course, there has to be prey for the predators to survive to sustain their numbers, but that's besides the point. I'm not going to go into the whole life cycle of the alien life forms into this planet. Anyways, let's continue. When Garner, I'm not sure I pronounced that right, but anyways, finally got out of the small crater he created when he got hit in the back while flying towards the outpost on the third moon, only to get hit like a truck and smash into the very rare pieces of land on the planet, only to see a young man with two separate hair colors and eye colors hovering down with his hands behind his back with a smirk on his face. Who the hell are you supposed to be, kid? None for all was completely silent. He pointed his index finger at Guy Gardner. Guy could clearly see the silver energy being channeled on the tip of his finger of this unknown stranger, as a silver death beam came shooting out of his finger. Guy barely had enough time to make a green dome construct to protect himself. Guy saw his dome construct cracking. He immediately flew to the right, dodging a silver death beam that went right through the body of land like it was butter. Guy flew a little bit away. Well, flew a little bit away, that's what I'm trying to say, to get some distance. He is now hovering in the air above the medium-sized land base that he crashed into earlier. None for all did the same, as he's hovering up into the sky, beating Guy at the same altitude. It almost seems like you're trying to kill me. This Guy, he's a bit of a jokester, and he's always been like that, if I remember right. It's been a while since I've seen anything with Guy in it, but anyways, he seems like he would be a jokester and a kind of a douche. Anyways, let's continue. Because I am trying to kill you, you filthy mongrel. And to your previous question, who I am, there's no point in introducing myself to a corpse. None for all flickered into a flash step, then reappeared and slammed his fist into Guy's face, slamming him right back into the ground, cracking the land base as half of it began to sink into the ocean because of the force of the impact that Guy made with the ground. When Guy noticed his opponent was close enough, he jumped up to his feet and created a green bat using his power ring, making a green construct, then swung it at None for All. It made a direct hit, as None for All stepped a few steps backwards. Guy tried to swing it again, only for the green bat construct to get caught in one of the hands of None for All, as he tightened his grip onto the construct, as it instantly began to shatter in his left hand. Then None for All used his right hand to slam his fist into the middle of Guy's chest. Before Guy could go shooting off like a rocket, None for All grabbed him by the face and tossed the Green Lantern into a nearby mountain that's sticking out of the water. Guy coughed out blood when he finally made impact to the hard rock surface of the mountain that's sticking out of the water. Guy couldn't help but feel like he's being tossed around by the Man of Steel himself. Guy knows for certain, whoever this guy is, he's strong. He's Kryptonian strong, that's been exposed to the yellow sun. Guy doesn't know how right he is. Is that all you have, Green Lantern mongrel? Is all the power you have at your disposal? I find it quite pathetic, really. In here I thought you would actually give me a proper challenge. I shouldn't expect much from nothing but a mongrel. That was my mistake. You bastard, as he shot a large beam of his, well, a large green beam out of his power ring as it soared towards None for All. None for All had no facial expression. He simply extended his hand outwards towards the beam of light. The moment the green beam made contact with the palm of his hand, None for All completely absorbed it. Guy's eyes widened, seeing his green energy shot that he shot out of his power ring was completely absorbed. What the hell are you? None for All had a grin on his face. You're death. Suddenly, Guy's vision begins to change and shift as he found himself flying extremely fast, with None for All's hand gripping onto his face, slamming him into a nearby mountain that's peeking out of the water, as None for All smashed him right through it into another one. None for All slammed Guy's face across the water and began to drag him against the water within human speed, as None for All kicked Guy in the stomach, making him go right into a portal. When Guy exited the portal, he found himself skidding across one of the moon's surfaces, as None for All calmly walked through the digital portal as it closed right behind him. None for All waited for this mongrel to get back up on his feet. Guy finally stopped skidding and rolled around on the surface of the moon, and then finally struggled to get to his feet as he's coughing up blood, as he's breathing heavy. Guy immediately shot out green beams of light or energy out of his power ring in rapid succession at None for All. None for All either just absorbed the beam of energy or just slapped him out of the way. None for All continued to do that same thing by slapping the beams of energy with the back of his hand as he slowly begins to approach Guy. He shot several silver death beams at Guy's limbs, forcing the Green Lanterns to fall on one knee. As several more death beams shot into his shoulders, one after another, purposely not shooting his death beams at full power. That's why his attacks are not piercing his skin. He needs the Green Lantern to call for reinforcements. That's why he's prolonging this battle the way he is. None for All continues to shoot death beams, powerful enough to injure him, but not powerful enough to pierce through his limbs. None for All noticed his opponent collapse to the ground, not dead, but extremely weak and exhausted, and in extreme amounts of pain. Guy doesn't know how much he can withstand. His power ring is nowhere near empty, but whatever he throws at this guy, he just absorbs it or just backhands it away, like he's some sort of child throwing a temper chip. Whatever, I can't pronounce that right now, but he's throwing a fit. Anyways, let's continue. Guy grinds his teeth. He has no choice but to call reinforcements from the outpost and send a SOS to all the nearby lanterns in this sector. None for All grabbed Guy by the throat and lift him up in the middle of the air. None for All began to slowly drain his life force. What the hell are you doing to me? Why do I feel so weak? It's quite simple, trash. I'm draining your very life force, and I'm draining you slowly, so you could feel every moment of your body slowly dying. Guy started to scream out in pain as his life force was slowly being absorbed, as his skin began to tighten, as his face began to sink in, as he gave out a horrific scream until Guy was nothing but But Bones, as he dropped the bones of the Green Lantern onto the ground, as the Green Lantern uniform began to disappear, before the power ring could fly off, None for All caught the power ring in his hands and placed it over his ring finger. As the power ring began to resist. How adorable, you're resisting. It's futile. Power ring, you will be mine. But because of None for All mere willpower, it was too much. It was far superior. As the ring submitted to None for All's control, as he summoned the portable Green Lantern battery and grabbed hold of it in his opposite hand and tossed it in a digital portal for safekeeping. As None for All examined the power ring over his finger, fascinating weapon. Truly fascinating. Wouldn't you agree, Lanterns? As None for All stared up into the sky to a large group of Green Lanterns. Kilowog, or Wog, landed harshly onto the surface of the third moon. The outpost is on the other side of the moon, so they're nowhere near it. As Kilowog stares down at the skeleton that used to be Guy. Kilowog might not have liked the guy, but he was a comrade. Kilowog began to grind his teeth and stares daggers at None for All. You're gonna pay for this. And hand over that power ring. It doesn't belong to you. I don't think I'm going to do that. I quite like it. It's in my color, and it's in my color. I think I'll keep it. I don't know how you killed Guy, and what method you used, to make the ring listen to you, but I'm taking you down. I'm going to give you this one chance to go peacefully, surrender, and hand over the power ring, and I won't have to break any bones. None for All smirked at Kilowog. I'd like to see you try, big guy. I gave you a chance. Attack, everyone. Take him down. As all of the Green Lanterns begin to charge at None for All, his power ring activated as a Green Lantern uniform appeared over None for All's body, or basically over his clothes. None for All dodged an incoming fist from Kilowog and used the power ring that's on his finger to shoot out a wide blast of green energy, scattering the large group of Green Lanterns. None for All created a giant All Might construct. The green construct of All Might slammed his humongous fist into Kilowog, sending that Green Lantern like a rocket, skidding across the moon's surface, leaving a trail as he keeps grinding against the ground. I see. So that's how you work. You gotta have the necessary willpower and imagination, and a bit of skill to make constructs. Quite fascinating. I'm starting to like this new toy. And surprising, this power ring has still quite a bit of juice left in it after that. This is going to be fun. As he gave the Green Lanterns a vicious grin. According to my memories from my partner, the Green Lanterns are not allowed to kill, even with their power rings. Even their power rings will react if you have the intention to kill. Of course, with many things, there are loopholes. And I plan to abuse that loophole severely. You just got to overpower your willpower. Like this. As he pointed his power ring at the charging Green Lantern. The Power Ring tried to resist, but eventually, None for All overpowered it and shot a powerful and lethal condensed green energy shot and pierced right through the Green Lantern's chest, leaving a good-sized hole in the middle of his chest. As the Green Lantern fell to the ground, lifeless to the ground. As the dead Green Lantern's suit begins to disappear as the Power Ring begins to fly off. These rings are pretty useful, but I prefer this method better, if you ask me. As None for All shot out several death beams, killing Green Lanterns after Green Lanterns, as bodies begin to fall to the ground or the surface of the moon, as their power rings begin to fly off to find a new host. Kilowog took the chance when he noticed his opponent was temporarily distracted by killing his fallen comrades and got in close and made contact with his face with a vicious right hook, followed up with a left, then raised up both of his hands in the middle of the air and slammed down into a jackhammer into his back, followed up with a vicious uppercut. Kilowog shot a powerful beam of his a powerful energy beam out of his power ring, sending None for All skidding backwards. None for All stopped his momentum by digging his heels into the ground, eventually coming to a stop. Is that all you got, mongrel? What the hell? That was my strongest punch and my best combination. I mean, I'm no Kryptonian, but at least they should have made some sort of damage. And that bastard is completely fine. And that cocky smirk is getting on my nerves. I believe it's my turn now. None for All flash stepped right in front of Kilowog and cocked his hand backwards. As the power ring begins to glow a bright green, as None for All struck Kilowog in the stomach, as Kilowog coughed up spit and blood, as None for All digged his fist further into his stomach, then suddenly there was a discharge of energy, sending Kilowog into several rock formations behind him, crushing right through them. None for All teleported right behind Kilowog, who was still flying backwards into several rocks formation, grabbed him by the back of his skull and slammed his head into the ground, making spiderweb cracks underneath Kilowog. Then, when he made contact with the ground, None for All pinned Kilowog's face into the ground by holding on to the back of his head, with his hand behind, his hand grabbing onto his head still, applying pressure into the ground as he begins to siphon through his memories, trying to find any information involving this prison planet of theirs. And lucky for None for All, he hit the jackpot. This specific Green Lantern, known as Kilowog, has been to the prison planet on several occasions. Of course, the alien tried to begin to resist when he was probing through his mind, but he was no match for None for All. After he got what he wanted, he slammed his opposite fist into the back of Kilowog's skull, knocking him out. Placing him in a energy dome, just in case he can't breathe in outer space. He's unsure of what species he belongs to. He's not certain if he can breathe in space. He doesn't want to kill him, not yet at least. Deku could be heard throughout None for All's mind. Interesting choice. Why did you spare him? That I'm not complaining, I'm just curious. None for All stared at the remaining Green Lanterns. He could see and sense the fear radiating off of them. It's quite simple. I want him to live. and to know that all of his comrades are dead, he was completely helpless to save them. Every waking moment in his pathetic mongrel life, I want him to remember this day. Remember me. The day where he utterly lost. He was so easily defeated, and he couldn't do a damn thing to stop me. Hatred is a quite powerful emotion to have, and I want him to fester into hatred. Then maybe then he'll provide me with a worthy challenge. Highly doubt it, but who knows? The mongrel might surprise me. Now, is that all you have, mongrels? As he stares at the remaining Green Lanterns. You might excuse me, partner, but I got some mongrels to kill. As Deku's voice begins to fade away from None for All's mind, None for All's eyes begin to glow a bright silver color as he shot out his heat vision that flew around like a omega beam, vaporizing one Green Lantern after another until there was nothing left but floating power rings that flew off in the distance. A few seconds later, None for All took flight and began to make his way towards the outpost. When he got close, None for All had to fly out of the way of a laser bolt being fired upon by a laser cannon that surrounds the boundaries of the Green Lantern outpost. As there are several scattered all around the boundaries of the outpost on all sides. None for All flew out of the cannon's firing range and analyzed his next plan of action. He's in no danger whatsoever from the highly advanced energy cannons. With the energy cannon's output of energy it can produce, it can't actually kill him. It can hurt him, cause him pain and discomfort, yes, but not kill him. None for All created multiple silver destructible discs and let them fly towards all of the energy cannons that surrounded the boundaries of the outpost at the same time. As all the cannons begin to explode at the same time, in rapid succession, around the entire outpost. None for All None for All hovered above the outpost and extended his hand outwards towards the sky and created a silver supernova and tossed it downwards directly over the outpost. As the outpost was engulfed in a silver dome of energy, engulping the outpost entirely. When the attack finally faded away, the only thing that survived, None for All's onslaught, when the energy dome finally faded away, was hundreds of Green Lantern power rings taking flight, finding a new host for the Green Lantern Corps. Interesting. What do you find interesting? According to the memories you got from that Green Lantern, I believe his name was Kilowog. The Green Lanterns have no idea of my involvement in the death of the other Green Lanterns that I've killed. I'm true to my word. I'm true to my word. I'll leave the fighting up to you, but I'm taking back control when we meet up with Sinestro. That's acceptable. I'll leave talking to you and scheming to you to the lower life forms. I'm probably going to regret this, but what exactly are you scheming in that mind of yours? It's quite simple, my friend. The prison planet we're going to, according to the memories, not only they're patrolled by Green Lanterns, But what Father said was right. They do have manhunters there as well. I have no doubt a frontal assault would be extremely difficult. Not impossible, but difficult. But luckily for us, you have the key to our success. Ah, you must mean the power ring. Yes, I'll use that power ring to disguise myself as a loyal Green Lantern. With that disguise, I can easily infiltrate the Green Lantern's home planet to get what we need, the main battery core for the Green Lantern Corps. We need a proper distraction. That's where Sinestro comes into play. I'll give him the means to seek his righteous vengeance upon the Green Lanterns. Clever, you're gonna use him. Of course I'm gonna use him, my friend. After all, he's nothing but a mongrel, a means to an end. To accomplish our goals, our evolution is necessary for our continued survival. And with Darkseid on our tail, we need more power and we need it fast. And with your superior power, we are no match for the ruler Apocalypse. That's where we would have to disagree. Don't be a fool, none for all. Indeed, you are powerful. You're even more powerful than me at my current state. But don't be deluded by your power. You don't have enough to challenge Darkseid. You don't even have enough to challenge Superman. Hell, you don't even have enough to challenge Wonder Woman, that Amazon woman. You might be able to harness 50% of my power, well, our power, but that's not enough. None for All was quiet for a few seconds. As much as I hate to admit it, you do have a point. The maximum I'm only able to utilize 50% of our power. In our current state, this is just a rough estimate. We need to utilize at least 300% of our power to even stand a chance against Darkseid. But that's far from out of our reach. Our body would be destroyed before we could even land a singular attack, wielding such power. That's why our evolution is so important. We have the potential to be the most powerful being in this universe. You just need to play smart and plan accordingly. There'll be plenty of chances for you to battle. The type of battle that you desire, that we desire. After all, your warrior side comes from me, and your cruel and sadistic side comes from All for One. Here's what I have planned. Once you get to the prison planet, you're going to go on a rampage. Cause as much havoc and rampage as you want. I'm listening. You're going to cause so much havoc that the whole prison planet will be too busy trying to find you to notice a lone Green Lantern. That's where I come into play. Quite clever. They'll be too busy trying to find me, not realizing I was just a distraction and they won't be able to find me at that point. Precisely. I have no doubt you could take over this prison planet, but that would take too much time. And I need to use the assault on this prison planet as a cover so no one gets too suspicious. When we get to their home planet to get our prize, meanwhile, I will graciously supply Sinestro with several of my brainiac Dragon Core units. I think it's about time you get back to work. None for all, as we have incoming. None for all notice several Green Lanterns from all the nearby planets in this sector that responds to Guy's SOS distress call, as he gave them a very terrifying smile. That's where we're going to stop it. Hope you guys have a good night today. Enjoy the right time zones, and I'll catch you in the next video.